Speaking of old guys returning, you return to the middle of June, and it's an 8-man with VKM teaming with Team 3D to
Oh,
take on the Bashams and the Steiners.
holy
Hi-
mackerel.
Yeah, come on now. Hemi sprays something in Kip's eyes to cost the victory. Do you remember what the end game was here with a 8-man? All of a sudden, 3D and the Steiners are involved in this.
No, no idea. But it's hey, but it sounds awesome. And
Could you?
I'm being dead serious. Like that sounds awesome.
Oh,
That-
if you on paper you look at those names and you go,
oh
"This is a
yeah.
hell of a
Hey,
match."
then you watch the match and wish you'd have stopped at the paper. You know what I'm saying? Say, hey, I hope this ain't pay-per-view because I
Okay.
ain't doing it.
All right, let's put this in perspective.
Okay.
3 of these 4 teams are some of the biggest tag teams in the history of the business. Steiners, Dudleys, and of course you guys. Like you said, this is a thrill, and it's crazy that this happened in TNA in
Yeah.
'07. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, look, it is wild, and it's I would argue, though, that this is past everyone's prime, maybe except the Bashams. You know what I mean? And maybe that was the idea, was to utilize star power to try to get some shine on them or some spotlight on them. And so I don't know. I just you promote that match, and I think you get viewers. You know what I mean? And I think that's yeah, whether we let them down or not with the half of star match we gave them. Is still, you know, is still to be determined. Excuse me. The ratings were never great. I mean, we had about 1 million a week for a while when it was on Spike, but then they went back down when they lost the Spike deal, and so it was, you know, we all those teams, as big as they were, as monumental as that 8-man sounds like, we were all past our prime. And so, and in TNA. And so, look, I'm not degrading the company because the company paid me and it just wasn't the WWE. It's not even AEW. You know what I mean? It was the little engine that could, and so it was running on a wing and a prayer from the inception, and so it still was in 2007. It still is today in 2022.
I think you had the right idea there. Of course, I mean that's why you said it. That putting those guys in with U3 teams immediately gave them instant credibility here
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and
and
give them the rub.
especially if we make it look like, and I can't imagine we didn't. I mean, I can imagine me sucking at wrestling, but I can't imagine we didn't try to make those guys in this match to make them look like they belonged in there with these other teams because they dang sure did. They're young and hungry and in great shape and aggressive, and you know what I mean. So they fit in there. It was just up to us then to make them look like they do, and I don't know if we did that or not.
Okay. You begin a feud with the now babyface Steiners when on
Oh.
Impact, VKM comes out and says they were the greatest tag team in wrestling history. Scott Steiner
Oh,
responds by saying, "You were tag team champions when WCW was on an 84-week streak of everyone watching them. Were you excited to be working with the Steiners here?"
hey, so that for one thing, that's not true.
Mm.
We were not the tag team champions for 83 weeks. When we became the tag team champions, well, I don't know when we became the tag team champions time wise, but Wesley or somebody, if they can look this up, we literally became the champions. Then we did the, no, he may be right. I'm sorry.
Oh.
My bad. My bad, Scott. I just thought his math was horrible because of his mathematics promo was so all over the
Right.
place. It made me think like he might be he might be right. But once so I remember this because we just talked about it a great deal was when we did the invasion that week was the week it turned around. That was the 83rd week or the 84th week that was in our favor. And so I think that's how that worked anyway. But like, so I don't know how long we were the tag team champions before that. But I don't
Not the whole
appreciate you.
time.
I don't appreciate you saying that, Scott. Butthole.
But yeah, were you excited to be working with the Steiners
Oh
at this
yeah,
point?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, so we have a great myself and the Steiners, Billy and the Steiners. We have a great relationship with those guys. Having said that, they terrorize me. Scott Steiner will come and put his fingers like so far into my clavicle, and like, oh, it feels like he's dislocating things, and like he just comes up and like just come up and put his fingers in my small ribs, you know what I mean? Your little baby short ribs. And so yeah, he's just that kind of guy. And then they both get around and you just go, oh God, please don't, guys. Please don't. I'm gonna pee in my pants, guys. But they're so fun. It's so fun to be around. They really are. And they're good dudes too. Scotty was wild when he was young, man. He's different now, and he's a good guy, and he's raising good kids. Him and his brother both. They're great guys.
Why did you've kind of touched on this before? But why did TNA always bring up WWF and WCW? Does that, looking back at it, does that make it look like you? I mean, you were the minor league to them, but
yeah, and we were.
Doesn't that make you even look more like the minor league?
Of course. And so a lot of the things that I was a part of then in retrospect just make zero sense to me. So it makes me wonder, like, was the creative messed up? I know I was messed up. But what exactly was it? And I don't know what the answer is there, you know?
All right, at Hard Justice, you're wrestling LAX again. Kip wore pants.
They
They look
did.
like Candice Michelle should have been wearing them.
I guarantee you, I know the ones they are. I bet they're black and see-through. It's like a thong with black sheer for butt shorts.
Well, he ain't scared.
No, he ain't
He ain't
scared. But look,
scared.
if I look like him, I wouldn't be scared either. But if I look like me, so that make you scared. If you saw me in them pants.
You look like a busted can of biscuit. That's what you look.
Hey, I'm so fat that when you said that, I got hungry. I
Throw
thought,
some
dang,
butter
a
on
good
and
butter
let's go.
jellied biscuit.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh Lord.
All right, so we got a hold of his good looking pants.
Yes,
And you, in those pants, you guys turned heel in this match
we did.
when Roxy throws powder into Hernandez's eyes to stop a border toss, and
Oh.
Kip hits, not the best famouser ever, and gets the pin. Hector Guerrero shows up and tells the ref about the powder and shows it to him, and the ref restarts it, and then Homicide pins Kip with a front rolling
Oh.
cradle. Were you happy
You know what
to
I
be going
hate?
back heel?
You know what I hate? A dang front rolling cradle. I don't have a clue what that is. I'm thinking it's like a forward victory roll.
Looks uncomfortable.
Yeah,
doesn't
like
it?
a monkey humping a football, and you just roll in a circle. Then
That's
yeah.
like me
Yeah, well,
sleeping
no,
in a
look,
shirt.
I
I
love-
wake up like I'm in a front rolling cradle. I'm fighting to get out of here, trying to kick out.
in a front rolling cradle. I still have no idea what that is. Hey, but I loved working with Homicide and Hernandez. Homicide was already a wily vet, and he knew who he was and what he did, and so it was super cool with me to have another guy like that. And then Hernandez was young, but he was going to be a star. If he could have spoke Spanish, which he might speak Spanish better now, but he couldn't speak Spanish really well then. He might could have been a huge international star. And he kind of is. He kind of was anyway. And did that for a minute. But yeah, we loved working with those guys as often as possible.
Do you care that you're turning heel here? Do you like me in a heel? At this point,
I also
you're still
don't
in, that
know.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, for one thing, it does not matter. It didn't matter to me then. But it also made me wonder, like, did they see the writing on the wall where we're not liked, and this LAX is cool and hip, and they are liked, and so just do something to cheat to try to beat them, and then let them beat you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't hate the creative. I thought it was a cool finish
Right.
with the non-finish restart, and you know what I mean. I'm sure Billy's pants kind of made up for the rest.
Again, you said you love working with LAX here. Do you know why they moved away from keeping the storyline with the Steiners? Do you remember anything about that?
I don't, to be quite honest with you, and I know Scott and Rick were. I don't know if they were. We worked with them a few times, so I don't know why we moved on so fast. But maybe the idea was never to do that, because look, I know Scott was not there a whole, no, excuse me, Rick was not there a whole bunch after that, and Scott was, and then they went into the, not long after that, I guess they went into the militia or the main event mafia or whatever with Scott as a single. So, look, I think anytime they bring back me and Billy or the Steiners or something, I think they're, especially past our prime, I think they're better served not putting us together because you don't get anything. There's no investment into the future at all. And so maybe they realize, hey, we got to keep these guys apart and just utilize them to help other people. I don't know. That would be my line of thinking if I were booking and I had those guys on my talent roster.
There's going to be a Gauntlet Royal Rumble tag match at No
Yes.
Surrender.
Hey, all of that. Gauntlet
mean-
Royal Rumble tag match.
Could you have any more adjectives for one match?
And
That's a lot of adjectives.
we could have ignorance on a pole. Maybe. I don't know.
The GRR tag match, as the kids like to call it.
So the truth be told, I drove through a part of backwoods North Carolina, and I saw a rebel flag on flying on somebody's property, and I thought, literally the first thing I thought of, because everything's wrestling, was, oh, ignorance on a pole match, and and I thought, like, you get to go up there and tear that down or whatever. Like, I don't know, but that's the first thing I thought of when I saw that, and then I was like, oh man, I wonder if we could do like an ignorance on a pole match, and then it fit right here. This is it.